Claire L. Evans, Broadband, The Untold Story of the Women Who Made the Internet. The realm of computer programming and the internet as we know it today wasn't solely forged by male minds, as one might assume. Broadband, The Untold Story of the Women Who Made the Internet by Claire L. Evans illuminates the significant and oft-overlooked contributions of women in shaping the digital landscape. From the world's first computer programmer, Ada Lovelace, to Grace Hopper's impact on COBOL, the ENIAC-6, pioneers in communication networks, early adoption of hypertext, and trailblazers of digital publishing, the book is a testament to the persistent and transformative work of women who played defining roles in the evolution of the computing field.
Ada Lovelace, the first programmer. Ada Lovelace, daughter of Lord Byron, transcended her famous parentage to become a pioneering figure in computer programming. A product of her mother's determination to curb her father's wildness, Lovelace thrived in the comprehensive math education she undertook since she was 4. With a persistent fascination for Charles Babbage's creation, the difference engine, she built upon the foundation of her mathematical upbringing. Despite the constraints of being a countess, she translated and significantly improved upon an influential paper discussing Babbage's analytical engine. However, it would take almost a century after her death for Ada to receive the recognition she truly deserved. Raised primarily by her mother, Ada Lovelace's upbringing was steeped in structured mathematical education, aimed at countering any temptation towards her father's reckless tendencies. As a result, she became well-versed in mathematics and grew intellectually formidable, even outpacing her tutors. Ada developed friendships with some of the greatest scientific minds of her time and continued expanding her knowledge through books and personal correspondence. Her fascination with the transformative applications of math reached new heights at 17, when she met Charles Babbage and was introduced to the difference engine, an early calculator designed to solve complex mathematical problems. Despite her early marriage to William King and the ensuing personal and societal expectations, Lovelace remained dedicated to her intellectual pursuits. Babbage eventually devised a more refined and powerful innovation, the analytical engine, capable of general-purpose computation. Upon discovering a paper discussing the engine in a Swiss journal, Ada set her mind to translating it into English. She corrected multiple errors in the original text, impressing Babbage so profoundly that he encouraged her to compile her own notes for publication alongside the translation. Lovelace's work far exceeded the original paper in both length and sophistication, elaborating on the full potential of the analytical engine and its potential applications in mathematics. Coupled with her unique ability to condense technical concepts into an engaging and accessible form, Lovelace's notes exemplified a perfect blend of artistry and analytical prowess. Drawing motivation from her family motto, "Labor is its own reward," Ada persisted in her work, despite a lack of acknowledgement during her lifetime. It would not be until nearly a century after her death that she would receive proper recognition for her groundbreaking role as the world's first computer programmer. Trailblazer Grace Hopper. In 1941, 36-year-old Grace Hopper, a mathematics professor, decided to quit her job and join the U.S. Navy to serve her country. She became the third programmer of the world's first computer at Harvard, working closely with Lieutenant Howard Aiken, who designed the Mark I computer. Hopper played a key role in solving challenging wartime problems with her programming skills. Post-war, she joined UNIVAC as a programmer and revolutionized programming by creating a compiler, making programming accessible to non-experts. As companies caught on, Hopper realized the need for a universal programming language and facilitated a meeting in 1959 with major computer manufacturers, leading to the development of COBOL, Common Business-Oriented Language. 6 decades later, COBOL is still in use, and Grace Hopper is affectionately remembered as Grandma COBOL. Women pioneers of computing. The term computer once described individuals, primarily women, who manually solved intricate math problems. During the 20th century's first half, female computers were so prominent that kilogirl was coined to measure 1,000 hours of computing labor. Amid the Second World War, the immense demand for computations led to the creation of the first electronic computer, the Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, ENIAC, by physics professor John Mauchly and engineer J. Presper Eckert. The ENIAC-6 comprised 6 resourceful women, Kathleen McNulty, Betty Jean Jennings, Elizabeth Snyder, Marlon Westkoff, Frances Belas, and Ruth Lichterman, who taught themselves how to operate and program the machine. Although the war ended prior to ENIAC's full functionality, a successful public demonstration in 1946 captured the press's attention. Despite receiving minimal credit, the 2 Bettys, Jennings and Snyder, continued having groundbreaking careers in the commercial computer industry, with Snyder contributing to creating the COBOL programming language. Pioneering women and social networks. The era following the U.S. bombing of Cambodia in 1969 witnessed a growing wave of protests and strikes. Among the individuals engaged in activism was Pam Hart English, a computer science graduate student at UC Berkeley. Along with her fellow student activists, she envisioned the creation of communication networks to connect various centers of the counterculture. However, personal computers did not exist during this time. Nevertheless, Hart English found a retired computer, the SDS-940, from Transamerica Leasing Corporation, which she, along with other individuals, utilized for social good. Initially aiming to connect counterculture centers, they shifted focus and created a social services referral directory database on the computer later known as ResourceOne. This introduced the concept of computing for social welfare and collaboration, demonstrating women's essential role in developing communication systems for societal benefit. During the excitability of the late 1960s and early 1970s, a group of young visionaries led by Pam Hart English perceived the potential for communication networks to transform society. They imagined a decentralized network compiling local information and resources that could connect people from different backgrounds and locations. Amid that tumultuous period of activism, they dared to dream of the Internet. Their ambitions, however, were not easily realized. Personal computers were non-existent, and acquiring the requisite technology was a daunting task. Undeterred, Hart English located and secured a retired computer from a generous institution, Transamerica Leasing Corporation. With their acquired SDS-940 computer the size of 10 refrigerators, Hart English and her team initiated what would ultimately become ResourceOne. Though their original plans to establish various counterculture hubs proved to be challenging, the resourceful group found another purpose for the computer. Realizing that social service agencies in the Bay Area lacked a centralized database, Maya Schoen, Sherry Rezin, and Mary Yanowitz set out to compile a social services referral directory database on ResourceOne. The invaluable directory supported the interconnectedness of various nonprofit organizations and increased overall accessibility of services. As the database grew in significance, it became instrumental in bridging the gap between social workers and essential resources for their communities. Libraries and the Department of Social Services soon adopted the regularly updated directory, further broadening its reach. The United Way charity eventually assumed responsibility before transitioning the directory to the San Francisco Public Library, where it remained essential until 2009. The story of ResourceOne underscores not only women's integral role in the development of early communication networks but also the vast potential of computing for social good. These pioneering individuals demonstrated unwavering dedication and resourcefulness, laying the groundwork for the interconnected, digital world we inhabit today. The Internet's unsung heroine. The ARPANET, an early online network launched in 1969, was the precursor to the modern Internet. Elizabeth Jake Fainler, a chemist-turned-information scientist, played a vital role in its organization, documentation, and development. Through her leadership of the Network Information Center (NIC) at Stanford Research Institute, Fainler was responsible for creating the first resource handbook for the ARPANET, effectively the first Internet browser. Her contributions to the growing network included registering new hosts, indexing critical conversations, and devising a system for domain names we still use today. As the NIC expanded into an $11 million project, Fainler's innovative efforts in the early days of the Internet demonstrated the vital importance of a role initially overlooked by others. The ARPANET was not only a groundbreaking project funded by the U.S. military but also the foundation for today's Internet. At its inception, the system connected scientists across various U.S. universities, allowing them to share resources and communicate effortlessly. By 1972, as the network expanded to include around 30 connections, a more organized central office was required, the Network Information Center (NIC). Due to a lack of available computer engineers, the responsibility fell upon the shoulders of Elizabeth Jake Fainler, an information scientist who would soon become indispensable in the world of the early Internet. Creating a resource handbook for the ARPANET was Fainler's first major undertaking, cataloging crucial information about each site hosted on the network. In a matter of weeks, her comprehensive work transformed her into the network's ultimate authority, making the resource handbook an invaluable tool for locating ARPANET users, a predecessor to modern Internet browsers. As the ARPANET continued to expand, Fainler's leadership grew in significance. As head of NIC, she managed the registration of new hosts and indexed pivotal conversations that took place within the network. Fainler's expertise made her the go-to source for locating specific resources on the ARPANET, ultimately prompting the development of a people finder tool within the network. To facilitate an orderly system for site identification, Fainler revolutionized the way computers were named and addressed, introducing domain names recognizable today. She proposed generic categories classified by location, .mil for military, .gov for government, .edu for education, and .com for commercial businesses. Fainler's contributions stand as a testament to the significant role she played in the development and organization of the early Internet. Her story serves as a reminder that seemingly unnoticed roles in computing history are often the most impactful in shaping our digital landscape. Echo, the pioneering social network. In the early 1990s, Stacy Horn created Echo, one of the first social networks, connecting users along the East Coast. Designed as an authentic extension of the real world with both common and private spaces, Horn focused on drawing an eclectic mix of individuals, especially women, who were scarce on the Internet at the time. Echo even laid the groundwork for live tweeting and social media influencers. Stacy Horn, a graduate student in New York City during the 1980s, was eager to find an online community that resonated with her New York roots. Although she enjoyed the conversations on the Well, a California-based online community, the high costs associated with long-distance dialing soon led her to seek an alternative. Consequently, in 1990, Horn launched her own community named the East Coast Hangout, otherwise known as Echo. Horn's dedication to finding interesting individuals, or echoids, for her platform was impressive. She ventured to parties, art exhibitions, and museums, often inviting these potential users into her home to teach them how to use Echo. At a time when only 10 to 15% of Internet users were women, Horn actively sought female users to bolster diversity on her platform. Additionally, Echo offered a mix of common and private spaces, resembling the real world and catering to a variety of user groups. In those early years, Echo played a revolutionary role in social media history. As the O.J. Simpson Bronco chase unfolded in 1994, Echoids posted real-time reactions on the platform, an activity now known as live tweeting. Echo also paved the way for social media influencers. Marissa Bow, an online chatterbox, emerged as one of the first influencers on Echo. Though timid in person, she was energetic and outgoing on the platform. Her lively discussions garnered an avid following, which translated into mini-celebrity status during monthly meetups among fellow Echoids. The innovator behind Hypertext. Dame Wendy Hall, a computer science lecturer from the University of Southampton, played a crucial role in the development of hypertext systems that ultimately led to the creation of the World Wide Web. Her pioneering work with Microcosm, a hypertext system designed to browse archives, showcased the potential of interconnected digital information and laid the foundation for modern interactive websites. Tim Berners-Lee didn't invent the Internet, but he did create the World Wide Web, a system built on hypertext markup language, HTML. Before HTML, there were sophisticated hypertext systems developed by several innovative women, including Dame Wendy Hall from the University of Southampton. Hall's journey into computer science began in 1986 when the BBC commemorated the 900th anniversary of the Doomsday Book. Captivated by the multimedia presentation on laser discs, she grew more intrigued by interactive media. This interest only intensified during her 1989 sabbatical at the University of Michigan, where she discovered the popularity of clickable multimedia, known as hypertext or hypermedia. Returning to Southampton brimming with enthusiasm, she worked on developing her own hypertext system. When the university archivist learned of Hall's innovative pursuits, he approached her with a project to digitize the archival material donated by the Earl of Mountbatten, including photographs, speeches, and videos. Assembling a team, Hall developed the hypertext system called Microcosm to make the archives easily accessible on computers. This groundbreaking work became the foundation for interconnected digital information. Microcosm was just one of numerous hypertext systems being developed worldwide. Among them, Tim Berners-Lee's World Wide Web gained prominent traction due to its simplicity and free access. As the web became the preferred platform, Hall believed that Microcosm could coexist alongside it and focused on commercializing her hypertext system. However, from her vital work in hypertext, she contributed to building the versatile digital landscape we experience today. Digital publishing visionary, Jaime Levy. Jaime Levy, a pioneer of digital publishing, gained recognition during the dot-com bubble after transforming her passion for punk rock and computer animations into interactive media. With her electronic magazine, Electronic Hollywood, she gained fame in Los Angeles, selling out issue after issue from indie stores. Her success led her back to New York City where she made history, becoming Silicon Alley's first celebrity figure. From working with stars like Billy Idol to spearheading the creative direction of an online magazine called Word, her innovative contributions have left an indelible mark by demonstrating the incredible potential of digital publishing. Growing up in Southern California, Jaime Levy was deeply immersed in the punk rock scene. One day, a boyfriend introduced her to computer animations, and the course of her life changed forever. As a student at New York University, she began to experiment with interactive media, ultimately setting the stage for her influential career. Upon graduating in 1990, Levy moved to Los Angeles and created Electronic Hollywood, an electronic magazine distributed on floppy disks. The unique publication, combining graphics, animations, and games with text, was an instant hit. As the digital graffiti gained popularity, media attention followed, and Levy's star started to rise. Levy then returned to New York City, becoming an influential figure in Silicon Alley, the city's tech hub. Eventually, rock legend Billy Idol took notice, requesting a custom floppy disk for his album Cyberpunk. Despite the album's commercial failure, her reputation soared. When Mosaic, the first-ever web browser, emerged, Levy envisioned a future with electronic magazines that predated websites. In 1995, a golden opportunity emerged when Levy was offered the role of creative director at a new online magazine called Word. There, she revolutionized the industry by pushing the boundaries of online publishing. By 1998, Word's trailblazing work attracted 1 to 2 million hits weekly, earning praise from publications like Newsweek and the New York Times. Shortly after, Levy moved on to explore new ventures, but her impact on the era's creative possibilities endures. Although she may not be a household name today, Jaime Levy's groundbreaking work in the 1990s remains an essential part of digital publishing history.
Evans of Broadband effectively recognizes the paramount role women have had in the world of computers and the internet. Their work spans across computing breakthroughs, such as the contributions of Ada Lovelace and Grace Hopper, programming marvels carried out by the ENIAC 6, and advancements in communication networks and hypertext by Pam Hart English and Wendy Hall, to name a few. The pioneering spirit of women like Stacy Horn and Jaime Levy also helped lay the foundation for the modern world of social media and digital publishing. Broadband tells the inspirational story of these women throughout the history of the digital age, finally offering them the rightful acknowledgement they deserve for their collective impact in shaping the world of tech today.